And talk a little bit about the Blue Jays. Look, we know what they've been doing offensively, and there's a lot of people to talk about. But I think the reason why they went out there and got George Springer is a big reason because they want to get to the postseason, and I think George Springer is going to be the guy that can actually take them there. This guy, I don't think people really remember. This dude's got 19 playoff homers. 19 playoff homers. 5 of the homers are in the championship series. 7 of the homers he's hit is in the World Series. So 19 homers in the playoffs. And look at this, the Toronto Blue Jays. With George Springer in the starting lineup, 38-22. Without him, basically a 500 club. And I think that actually speaks volumes. They got guys that can drive in runs. Bichette can do his thing. Vlad Jr. can do his thing. Teoscar Hernandez does his thing. But I think George Springer, if the Blue Jays get to the postseason, they get to play in that one-game playoff situation, I think George Springer's the guy that's going to set the tone for him. He can lead off a game, go yah-yah real quick, 1-0 lead for the Blue Jays right there, H. So I like George Springer in the Toronto Blue Jays.
I love it. We're standing right up the middle. And, Bill, I'm being in your comfort zone. Look, we're going to talk about the middle infield real quick. Bichette and Marcus Semien, what they've been able to do. And I think the biggest thing has been the impact of another guy playing with you. You know, you played in middle infield.
Sure.
The importance of having a guy that you can talk with, rely on, you know he's going to do his job. And as a young player, the experience of Marcus Semien, it's rubbing off. You agreeing with that?
I do wholeheartedly. And there's a couple of things to talk about when you're talking middle infield. I think the Blue Jays made a great move by going to get Semien one, but also having faith in this dude, Bichette, to play every day and say Marcus Semien's going to be the guy on the other side of the bag. So I thought that spoke volumes to this young player. And then this guy comes in and shows he's an established veteran, does his thing to be able to help out, but offensively just providing all kinds of thump.
And on the defensive side, Marcus Semien's impact on Bichette was known early, like starting in the spring training. And we got a chance to see a little bit of Marcus Semien right here. And his ability to hit the home run, swing the bats, and do his thing has been major impact. But I think the biggest challenge for Marcus Semien was moving from short, as Bill was talking about, over to second base. And when you move to second base, what's the biggest challenge? It's not catching the ground ball and making plays, not for a guy who plays short, but it's the pivot. Being able to turn the 4-6, the 6-4-3 double play instead of the other way around. He's now in the middle, turning 2. So as he turns 2, that's been the biggest challenge for me. Seeing a guy go to that side, to the blind side with somebody right on top of you when you're turning a double play, sitting here doing that. But his impact on Bichette is what I really want to zero in on real quick, because it started early in spring training. And his impact, to be able to tell him, I watched you play a little bit last year. It looked like you rushed on some throws. You didn't feel real comfortable, to help him get there. Now, we know Bichette's going to swing the bat, right? That's what got him to the big leagues doing his thing. But playing some defense is important. You got to do it in the big leagues, especially on a championship team. And so early on in Bo's career, let's go back to 2020, you know, he was just starting to figure out, okay, I can just play with nice rhythm, but he didn't really have that clock in his head that you always talk about. And so one of the things Marcus Semien did was put him on a drill that he did, and that was making the 4.3 every time on a grounder. So he got into the postseason a little bit, and this is what you saw from Bo, because he wasn't consistent. And he's rushing, ball's eating him up, trying to hurry, and the game speeded up on him. Well, how you slow it down? You get this guy. He says, look, I play short. Here's what I learned. You got about 4 seconds, 4.3 drill. So they put a clock on it, and every time you take ground balls, you want to get into that rhythm. So you at home trying to figure this out, here's what he did, and he carried it into a game. So next thing you know, catch it, get rid of the ball. That one's 3.97. All right, catch it, get rid of the baseball. A lot of times what young players do, you try to follow that base runner and time it. No, just get the ball over there. You got like 4 seconds to get it over there. And then you get that clock in your head, and before you know it, it just becomes a rhythm play. So that, to me, was the influence of Marcus Semien on young Bo Bichette. And it's no surprise, Dan, that Bo is now doing his thing. But You gotta pitch.
You have to pitch. And I think what the Blue Jays have right now, they have the best lineup in the AL East, but they also have the best starting pitching. Manoah has been terrific. He was called up earlier this year. He's been great. Barrios, they acquired at the trade deadline. Ryu, 2 years ago, everybody in baseball was shocked. Why in the world would he sign with the Blue Jays? But to me, the bread and butter of this team right now, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray, Garrett Cole, 1-2-2-1 AL Cy Young Award race. What are the big changes in Robbie Ray? First of all, they put him on the middle of the rubber, and he's more direct. He has a wider base, and he's almost facing the hitter. So you can see he has a wider base as opposed to 2020. Then he has this drastic turn. On the left, he kind of picks the knee up and sets it right back down. But this is what you see at home. Instead of seeing half of the 3 and all of the 8, now you see the 3 and the 8. And pitching is about 2 things. It's about deception and angles. So he starts off square, but he gets this drastic turn. And what happens? It's hard to see the ball. He hides the ball. 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider, and he's eating AL pitchers up. Cliff, this team can hit too, right?
Oh, man, you know they can hit. And look, we're talking about one of the best in the game. 22 years of age, fellas. And I think the biggest thing is he's going to get better every year. And we're seeing it this year, leading the league in homers. And the one thing I love is we do comps all the time. One thing I love, he's always balanced. And he had one little hiccup, but the one guy I'm looking at is Sammy Sosa. You look at a guy who has a little bit of a toe tap to sort of find some rhythm, 609 career homers. Look at the tap that Vlad has at the plate. He gets his rhythm. He can hit you all over the ballpark. He gets back. And it's not so, to me, it's more of set your feet, pick up the baseball early, and then attack it. He's not feeling for the baseball ever. He's attacking the ball consistently, and you're going to see the confidence just start to ooze out of him more and more as he understands what they're trying to do to him. They make adjustments on him. He makes adjustments on them. We've been talking about Shohei Ohtani winning the MVP easily. I think Vlad Jr. has something to say about that, fellas.
There.
He's right there at 45.
Oh,
right? He's sitting there leading the league in homers.
You guys brought him home.